Hello, we are right on time. I love being on time. So, this will be part two of the book club for chapter two. And I will be finishing, let me see if I can, this book right here. I know I'm blurred out a little bit, but I'm going to send out the link. So, we just want a couple of more people to join, and then I'll get started. And I'll read the comments. Hey, Justin, how's it going? I hope you had a good weekend. Let me know if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. And while I wait for that, up to my lighting. Hold on. 1 second. There we go. My lighting just came off. I'm going to send out the video. And like I said, we're just waiting for more people to join. Okay, Justin, you said, can you come up on the panel? Let me know, like, what would you want to come up on the panel for? Have you read the book? Are you reading a book? Because this is for our book club. So let me know, like, if you've actually read the book, because this live is for one specific reason. So, and you haven't let me know if you wanted to be a part of our book club. So this is for the book club. And let me know if you can hear me too. Okay, so as I wait for more people to come and join, please say hi as you walk in. I would appreciate that. Okay, he said, I love to read, but have you read this book? Have you read this book, Justin? Because most of the people that's in the book club has the book or is reading the book or has it on, the audio book. So we don't want to, get away from the topic today. So yeah. So just a few more minutes and we'll get started. And while we wait for more people to come in, yes, I have to read it. Yes, you do have to read the book. To be a part of the book club, you got to be, you got to have the book and you have to be on track on the chapters. Like, you have to read it. Well, I would like for you to read the book. Hi, Felicia. Thanks for joining today. So we will be finishing chapter 2, and then I'll ask Delilah if she wants to handle chapter 3 or if someone else wants to handle chapter 3 on their channel. So we'll see. We will see. Can I do the book on Audible? Yeah, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You definitely can. I think that's the better way to do it because a lot of people don't have time to read the physical book. So Audible is probably the best in this case. And for chapter 2, it's a really long chapter. Chapter 2 was probably about like an hour and 4 minutes on Audible. So if you have that, you can go ahead and do that. But last week, we pretty much got halfway through it. And I'm just finishing it out for this week. So as we wait for people to come into the room, let me know how's your weekend going, what you got planned for next week, or what you got planned for the holidays. Let me know. I want to know all about it. Okay. Let's see. All right. I have the book on the iPad. Okay, great. That way you can follow along. So, and Justin, I'll let you know when I do a panel. I don't think I'm going to do a panel today, but you can stay in the chat. You can, kind of react to the audio book that I'm going to play. You can react in the chat, but I don't think I'm going to have a panel today. But I'm glad you're here. You are definitely welcome here. Let's see. So yeah. So as I wait for more people to come in, I'll tell you guys, I just had an incredible workout. Man, I feel like I'm going to I don't feel like I haven't been going as hard as I used to in the gym, but today I changed that. So I did cardio and the rest was just weightlifting. I was like serious about my weightlifting today because I feel like I'm getting weaker. So I had to get on that. I have sleep planned this whole weekend. I feel you, girl. I've been trying to get some sleep, but for some reason, my children have been waking up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, because that's the time that I usually go to the gym. So they want to wake up when I'm leaving. Okay, I will come up on the panel in your live stream, on your next live stream. Yeah, you're welcome. As long as you are not trying to do something that is inappropriate. So as long as it's appropriate and you're coming in good faith, you can come up. But if you're not, just know I will have to ban you forever if you're not coming up on the panel, in good faith. Just so you know, I'm warning you. But yeah, aside from that, I'm trying to get back on my workouts. They say this is the time where it's like the great lock-in. So from September to December, that's the great lock-in. So I'm trying to lock in and really, finish this year out really strong. All right. Man, it is so surprising to me because I'm like, during school time, you guys never want to wake up on time, but you want to wake up when I got stuff to do and I'm trying to work out before you go to school and come back and get you guys ready. They crack me up sometimes. Kids are so funny. So, yeah. So as we wait, let me see. I'm still waiting for our girls to come in. Let me send this out one more time. I'm going to send out the live one more time. Let's see. If y'all just give me 1 second. Let's see. Hi, Teddy. How are you? We're about to get started in just a second. I just want to send out the live one more time. Let's see. How's your weekend going, Teddy? And thanks for joining. Oops. Okay, I just sent it out. Okay, let's see. I'm so happy you're locked in with the weight lifting. Be careful though. Oh man. Oh, I'm so glad you said that because the other day I was doing squats. Like, you know how you have the bar? I don't know what it's called, but I was doing that and I noticed like it started to like shake a little bit. And I'm like, did I lock in the weights on each side? So I'm like, let me get myself up off of this. But the worst thing that I think I could do is like throw my back out. So I try to not lift as heavy. So I'm trying to, take it light And then the other thing is I found another way to lift weights where I can just stand up and sit down, stand up and sit down. So that's what I did today. And I feel pretty good. But after I work out, after I have a really good workout, I go on the, at Platinum Fitness, of course, but I go and I just sit down on the massage chairs and the hydrotherapy, the cryotherapy chairs, and I feel pretty good. So it's been very good. How is yours going? It's going pretty good. I can't complain. It's actually really going really well. And Felicia says, good morning to Teddy Bear. Okay, so we are at the 10-minute mark. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let's see here. Oh, hey, there's my girl. You're right on time. I'm about to get started. So we're going to finish the second part of chapter 2. And Delilah, let me know how you guys want to do chapter 3. Should we do it on someone else's channel? Or if you want to do it on your channel? However, I'm pretty much open to everything, okay? So let's get started. All right. Hey, Sandra. Good to see you. You guys let me know if you can hear me and hear my phone.
For trying and always playing small. Failure is inevitable, but you have to make sure it's happening for the right reasons. When we fail out of negligence, we take a step back. When we fail because we are attempting new feats, we take one step closer to what will work. Downplaying. When we downplay our successes in life, we are either trying to make ourselves seem less impressive so others do not feel threatened and therefore like us more, or we are trying to avoid the sense that we have made it because we are afraid of peaking. Though so many of us long for the moment when we feel as though we have finally arrived and achieved the measures of success we so deeply desire, we often receive them only to then feel as though they aren't that great, impressive, or that they don't make us feel as good as we thought they would.
Can y'all hear this? Let me know if y'all can hear this.
This happens because of downplaying. The idea of having made it makes us afraid that we are reaching the pinnacle and therefore will fall off of it. If we acknowledge that we've arrived, what goals remain? It is a feeling akin to death. So we instead find another measure to work toward. Likewise, when we are around other people, we do not stand firmly in our pride because we are taught it is a bad thing, and when done in an unhealthy way, it is. What we are sensing is the feeling of being better than others because we have achieved something. This makes us uncomfortable because we know it's both untrue and unkind. How to resolve this? We can all acknowledge and appreciate other people's diverse accomplishments and talents while still being happy about our own. Instead of shrugging off a compliment, we can respond by saying, "Thank you. I worked very hard and I'm happy to be here." If the fear is that we are peaking too soon, we have to reform our idea of progress. We do not get better only to get worse again. We do not achieve one thing only to lose it and return to what we were before. That instinct is a self-sabotaging behavior, one that wants to keep us within our old comfort zone. Instead, we can acknowledge that when one part of our life improves, it radiates out to everything else. When we achieve one thing, we are better equipped for the future. Life tends to gradually get better as we keep working on it. It only gets worse if we accomplish something, then shut down because we are afraid of our own power. Unhealthy habits. This is the most common way that people sabotage their own success, by maintaining habits that are actively keeping them away from their goals. This is when someone declares that they want to be in better shape, but doesn't change anything they do each day to facilitate that. Or when they want to make a change professionally, but find ways to make it difficult, if not impossible, for them to actually do it. At the core of all these behaviors is the fact that one part of our psyche understands that we should be evolving and moving forward with their lives, and another part is intimidated by the potential discomfort it would bring. Usually, this culminates in so much inner tension and frustration that a breaking point is reached, and changes are made from there. However, the goal is to not have to get to a crisis point in your life before you can become aware of the ways you're holding yourself back from living peacefully and comfortably. How to resolve this? Define health on your own terms. What does a healthy life look like for you? How would it make you feel? And what would you be doing? It is difficult to look solely to anyone else's definition of healthfulness, particularly because we are all different people with varying needs, preferences, and schedules. Instead, figure out what makes you feel best. Decide what combination of healthy eating, exercise, and sleep is right for you, and stick to it. Like so many things, healthy habits are best established gradually. Instead of trying to force yourself to take an hour at the gym at 6 a.m., try instead to do 15 minutes. Or perhaps swap out with a class you really enjoy. Or go at a time that works better for your schedule. Make it easy for yourself to succeed. Prep your meals or keep water by your desk so you can sip it throughout the day. Gradually recondition yourself to prefer healthy habits, ones that actually work for your lifestyle. Being busy. Another very common way that people sabotage is by
Okay, I want to pause it really quick. And you guys, let me know what you think in the chat. But I just wanted to talk about like how I've been downplaying my own successes, especially when it comes to like the weight loss, journey and everything like that. I do get a lot of people say, "Oh man, you look good. You lost a lot of weight. I'm proud of you." I do tend to say like, "Oh, I still got a lot more weight to lose, or I got a long way to go," instead of saying like, "Yeah," like they said in the book, I'm proud of myself. And that kind of hit me really hard there because I just don't feel like I'm just, there yet, or I'm not seeing like the fruits of my own labor, because what I see is different from what other people see, especially if they know me before I started my weight loss journey. So that was just something that I was thinking about as I was listening to it. Like, why do I downplay myself? Like, why do I do that instead of just saying like, thank you? So you guys tell me what you think about that. And then I'll play it and then read the comments. Let me see if we got some comments. Let's see. Okay, you guys are saying that you can hear it just fine. Okay. But yeah, I'll wait for you guys' comments and I'll start it again.
Distracting themselves to the point of being completely phased out of their lives. People who are constantly busy are running from themselves. Nobody is busy unless they want to be busy. And you will know that because so many people with extremely hectic schedules would never describe themselves that way. This is because being busy is not a virtue. It only signals to others that you do not know how to manage your time or your tasks. Being busy communicates importance. It often makes you seem a little untouchable to others. It also overwhelms the body so that it can only focus on the tasks at hand. Being busy is the ultimate way to distract ourselves from what's really wrong. How to resolve this? If your schedule is unmanageable, you're never going to be as effective or productive as you could be. If this is the case, your first job has to be to streamline and prioritize your tasks in order of importance. Outsource whatever else you can. Let go of the rest. If your issue is that you intentionally create chaos and busyness in your day when there is no need for it, you have to get comfortable with simplicity and routine. Start with writing down your top 5 tasks that need to be done each day, and then focus on doing those and only those. You might also need to confront the sense of protection that being busy gives you. Does it make you feel more important than others? Does it give you an excuse to say no to plans or to avoid some people? You need to find healthier and more productive ways to cope with these feelings, such as finding genuine self-confidence in what you do by creating something you're proud of, or getting better at calmly but clearly stating your boundaries and needs in relationships. Spending time with the wrong people. It's true that so much of our lives is shaped by the people we spend them with, and the company you keep is another common way that people self-sabotage. Certainly, you can think of some people in your life who stress you out, make you feel insecure, and yet keep you coming back for more. These relationships exist at the lighter end of the toxicity spectrum, but they are self-defeating nonetheless. If you find yourself preoccupied with a certain friendship or relationship that is making you feel almost addicted to the feeling of being less than or jealous of, you need to gradually phase out of it. You don't need to be mean, rude, or even cut anyone out of your life. You do, however, need to understand that the people you spend the most time with will shape your future irrevocably, and so you must choose them wisely. How to resolve this? Work on building a circle of people who support and inspire you, who have similar goals and enjoy spending time with you. You should leave a get-together feeling energized and inspired, not exhausted and angry. It takes time to find your group of friends, and you may not discover that all at once. It could start with offering to take someone you admire out for coffee, or reaching out to do something with a person with whom you'd like to reconnect. Slowly, but genuinely, rebuild your connections, and then foster and care for them as much as you can.
Okay, let me get to the comments really quick. Felicia says, it took months to finally tell people thank you after a compliment. I feel you, girl. I it's hard for me to accept it because like I'm not mentally ready to accept, what they're saying. And I don't know why I'm like that. It's probably why I need to read this book. Because it's reading me like a book. Delilah says, I hate compliments. They creep me out. Yeah, some compliments do creep me out too, because it makes me feel like really uncomfortable, especially in front of a crowd. I'm really, really uncomfortable. Like if someone say, oh, I like this about you. And I'm like, I'm trying to find a way to, downplay it. And I don't like that about myself. I am choosing to spend time with this great group of people because you all elevate me. Oh, that is so sweet. And that's why I actually really like, being a part of, this YouTube sector, because everybody is very motivating. If we have a bad week, a lot of times we are in each other's comments saying, just keep going. I know you had a bad week, but it's going to get better for you later. So I really, really appreciate all of you guys. So let's see here. I'll press play.
Worrying about irrational fears and least likely circumstances. Another very common way that people sabotage without realizing is by preoccupying themselves with fears of worst-case possible scenarios. You're probably familiar with this, at least to some degree. You have a weird or highly unlikely thought that evokes a deep sense of dread, fear, and series of doomsday scenarios in your head. You then keep coming back to it to the point that it even controls some part of your life. Irrational fears, especially the kind that are least likely to become reality, are often what we project real fears onto. These irrational fears are safe because deep down we know they aren't going to happen. They are placeholders, a way for us to express the feeling we really have onto something we know isn't going to happen. When you find yourself in a fear cycle, constantly repeating some strange, random, or unimportant one-off circumstance or situation that has a very low probability of becoming reality, ask yourself if you have any feelings about something related that is actually valid. For example, if you get anxious about being a passenger in a car, consider if your fear is of moving forward or being out of control. Or if you're anxious about being fired from your job, the fear might really be the idea that you aren't worthy of another job or being humiliated by a higher up. How to resolve this? Instead of wasting all of your energy trying to control some worst-case scenario, consider what the message of the fear may be and what it is telling you that you need in your life. If the fear was an abstract metaphor, what would the meaning be? Is the abrupt loss of income a symbol of your desire for security? Is the fear of the future a symbol for not living fully right now? Is the anxiety about making decisions a symbol for knowing what you really want and being too afraid to choose it? At the core of the things we most fear is the message that we are trying to send ourselves about what we really care about. If we can identify what we want to protect, we can find healthier and more secure ways to do it. How to tell if you're in a
Okay, let me go and read the comments. Let me know if I'm stopping too much, but I just want to make sure I get all the comments. Okay, there. Oh, I got that one. In the past, I thought, why would you? Laugh out loud. Okay. The book club is great too. It's pushing us all for personal development. That is so true. Like for me, I'm a very shy person. So like this is a big leap for me to facilitate a book club. And I actually really like you guys too. So that's what's making me a little bit more comfortable. But I'm not the type of person that will speak in front of a huge group of people. Like I'm very nervous and I get very anxious as well. Oh, that part hit hard. I literally don't drive because of fear of being out of control. Don't drive out of control. I don't trust myself enough to control a vehicle. I need to work on that. Yeah, that is probably something that you take baby steps. You know, sometimes it helps when you just, maybe just ride around the corner or ride in the parking lot. And that may help you. That may help you. Let's see here. Delilah says she agrees with Sandra. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my goodness. I'm glad you guys like me. So, yeah, let me go ahead and play it again. And you guys, we're almost done with this chapter too. We got like less than 20 minutes left.
Sabotage cycle. Even if you can cognitively understand self-sabotaging behaviors, sometimes the most difficult shift is recognizing that we are engaging in them. In fact, sometimes the signs are so subtle they are barely recognizable, and often don't come to our attention until they become highly problematic or someone else points them out. Some of the most prominent symptoms of self-sabotage are as follows. You are more aware of what you don't want than what you do. You spend more of your time worrying, ruminating, and focusing on what you hope doesn't happen than you do imagining, strategizing, and planning for what you do. You spend more time trying to impress people who don't like you than you spend with people who love you for who you are. You are more focused on growing into the kind of person who evokes the envy of your supposed enemies, rather than the kind of person who is beloved by their family and friends and prioritizes them no matter what. You're putting your head in the sand. You don't know basic facts about your life, like how much debt you have, or what other people in your field are being paid for similar work. When you get into an argument, you run away until you forget, rather than talking about what's wrong and coming up with a solution. In other words, you are in denial, and so any hope of healing is futile. You care more about convincing other people you're okay than actually being okay. You'd rather post photos that make it look like you had a great time than being concerned about whether you actually had a good time. You put more effort toward trying to convince everyone you're doing well rather than being honest and connecting with people who could help or support you. Your main priority in life is to be liked, even if that comes at the expense of being happy. You think more about whether or not your actions will earn you the approval of people, who are people, by the way, rather than whether or not they will actually make you feel fulfilled and content with who you are. You're more afraid of your feelings than anything else. If you get to the point in life at which the scariest, most detrimental thing you face is the fear of whether or not you will be able to handle your own emotions, you are the one standing in your own way. Nothing else is. You're blindly chasing goals without asking yourself why you want those things. If you are doing everything you are supposed to be doing, and yet you feel empty and depressed at the end of the day, the issue is probably that you're not really doing what you want to be doing. You've just adopted someone else's script for happiness. You're treating your coping mechanisms as the problem. Instead of trying to incite war on yourself to overcome your overeating, spending, drinking, sexing, whatever it is you know you need to improve, ask yourself what emotional need that thing is filling. Until you do, you will battle it forever. You value your doubt more than your potential. Negativity bias makes us believe that bad things are more real than good, and unless we keep that inclination in check, it can leave us believing that everything we fear to be true is more real than the good things that are actually true. You are trying to care about everything. Your willpower is a limited resource. You only have so much in a day. Rather than using it to try to become good at everything, decide what matters most to you. Focus your attention on that and let everything else slip away. You are waiting for someone else to open a door, offer approval, or hand you the life you have been waiting for. We grow up with the illusion that success is what's handed to people who are most deserving, talented, or privileged. When we arrive, however, we realize it is constructed by those who find an intersection of their interests, passions, skills, and a market gap. Sprinkle on a little bit of persistence, and the only way to fail is to give up.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there and go to the comments. And I did jot down some things that I just was thinking about, and you guys can tell me what you think or if you're experiencing this as well. So let's go ahead and go to Sandra's comment. I don't feel worthy in a lot of situations. I have a big fear of people figuring out I'm not good enough. I don't know where it comes from. It's so funny that you say that because I feel the same exact way. Like, I self-sabotage myself into like not going for things that I should go for professionally, personally, and emotionally. That's why I probably need a therapist. And I've been looking for a therapist this week because, like, I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I had like a mental breakdown this whole week. And it's some stuff that is just so funny. And if I say it out loud, it was like, really, you were stressing over this? Like, so I need coping mechanisms as to like, why do I, not coping mechanisms, but I need to figure out why I do this to myself. Like, why do I feel this way? Is it something from childhood? Is it, something that I needed from my parents? I don't know. But I experienced the same exact thing. I want to work on it too. Okay, Delilah said, yep, that part. And they're agreeing with you, Sandra. So you're not alone in this situation. We all deal with it, but I feel like, it's too taboo to talk about openly with people. And I think it's because we fear being judged or laughed at. I know that's for me. You guys tell me if you think or feel the same way. The highlight reel syndrome. That's what Delilah says. That's such a great point. Tell your address. If, tell your address if better forever. You value your doubt more than your potential. Oh man, I'm telling you. So look, I took a note and I just asked myself a question. I says, why do I worry about the unknown or overthink negative the negative instead of overthink the positive outcomes? So I think it might be like a simple mind shift where I just need to think about like the best case scenario, because I'm always thinking about, okay, worst case scenario, this might happen. And I shouldn't think like that. I think that's another way of like, coping with stuff that I probably should work through. And I'm 35 years old. I shouldn't be experiencing this. I'm overly grown, but I do. So that's one of the things I just ask myself. And I'm just, writing down questions on how I can change my mindset. So, and I'll just tell you guys what I wrote down so far. And you guys can answer the question for yourself. If you want to share it in the chat, you can. But if you want to keep it to yourself, I understand. So this is what I wrote down. What are some things that I'm proud of? So I'll say one thing that I'm proud of is that I'm getting out of my shyness. I'm getting out of my, what's the word for I guess self-sabotage or feeling unworthy. I'm trying to, by putting myself out here, trying to accept myself for who I am instead of like downplaying everything that I've done and I'm doing in my life. And then the other question that I'm asking myself, and you guys ask yourself this too, and you shared it or not, you can share it in the chat. What's some things that makes me happy? So, and that's one of the things I might have to think about. Of course, my family makes me happy. My children, those are the main things that make me happy. But, I got hobbies. I like coming on here talking to you guys. It really makes me feel good after I end the live or after I finish a video and you guys are commenting, or if I do like a wig tutorial. It makes me happy when I'm talking to my camera and I'm laughing to myself. So that actually, I'm feeling joy. And then my other question that I had to myself was, what makes me feel safe? And this can be looked at as a negative or a positive. But the things that make me feel safe is not following through with the things that I said I was going to do. It makes me feel safe because I don't, have that. I can not be accountable, or, I can, just not do it because I'm scared. So that's the negative side of it. But the positive side of it is, my family makes me feel safe. That's my safe place. And then I don't know if I should say this yet. I might have to hold off on this last one because, yeah. So let me read the comments. Positive frame versus negative frame. Yes. So I'm just trying to shift my mind because naturally we go to the negative side. You are not alone. It sounds like we're all in the same place. Exactly. I'm proud of you for doing this live. Thank you so much, because my nerves was getting the best of me, but I just had to follow through because I didn't want to let you guys down and say, oh, I'm going to cancel it. I told you guys last week, I told you guys last week that I would be here, and I don't want to let people down. If I say I'm going to do something, I want to do it. You are not alone, babe, but you're doing the work to heal. Exactly. Sorry, we are grocery shopping and distracted, but I'll try to keep up. Okay, all right. You can pop in and out. I'm proud of closing myself first every. Are you saying choosing? Did you mean choosing, Felicia? Proud of choosing myself first every day and not feeling guilty about others or thinking it's selfish. Me too, honey. I'm proud of my career. Spending time with my girls makes me happy. Yep, same here. Hi, Michelle. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Yep, because in the past, the fat I carried kept me safe from attention. Yep. And they're just saying hello. Hello, Michelle. Thanks for joining. My family makes me feel safe and valued. My busy bees make me happy. Okay, I'm gonna play it. I think we got like 12 more minutes left, and I'm just gonna keep writing questions down that I have for myself, and you guys can choose to answer it in the chat if you want. But if you want to just jot it down, if you don't know right now, just maybe jot it down for yourself and then answer it at a later time.
You don't realize how far you've come. You are not the person you were 5 years ago. You evolve as your self-image does, so make sure that it's an accurate one. Give yourself credit for everything you've overcome that you never thought you would, and everything you've built that you never thought you could. You've come so much farther than you think, and you're so much closer than you realize. Identifying your subconscious commitments. Part of the reason we often experience intense inner conflict or self-sabotage is because of something called a core commitment, which is essentially your primary objective or intention for your life. Your subconscious commitments are basically what you want more than anything else, and you often aren't even aware of them. You can identify your core commitments by looking at the things that you struggle with most and the things you are most driven by. If you can peel back the layers of your motivations toward each, you'll find a root cause. When you find the same root cause for everything, you've found a core commitment. People only seem irrational and unpredictable until you understand what they are fundamentally committed to. For example, if someone has a core commitment to feel free, they may find themselves sabotaging work opportunities in order to achieve that. If someone's core commitments is to feel wanted, they could find themselves in a series of relationships in which they have intense connections but refuse to make commitments out of fear that the spark will fade. If someone's core commitment is to be in control of their lives, they might have irrational anxiety about things that represent a loss of control. If someone's core commitment is to be loved by others, they might pretend to be helpless in certain areas of life because if they don't need others, they might be left by them. But the most important thing to understand is that your core commitments are actually a cover-up for core needs. Your core need is the opposite of your core commitment. Your core need is also another way to identify your purpose. For example, if your subconscious core commitment is to be in control, your core need is trust. If your subconscious core commitment is to be needed, your core need is to know you are wanted. If your subconscious core commitment is to be loved by others, your need is self-love. The less that you feed your core need, the louder your core commitment symptoms will be. If you are a person who needs trust and is therefore committed to staying in control, the less that you believe you are supported, the more your negative coping mechanisms are going to flare up. Perhaps this could happen in the form of disruptive eating patterns, isolating yourself, or hyperfixation on physical appearance. If you are committed to freedom and therefore need a sense of autonomy, the less that you build a life on your own terms, the more you are going to sabotage opportunities and feel drained and exhausted when you should feel happy. The more you lean into fulfilling your core needs, the more your commitment's symptoms will disappear. Once you understand what a person really wants, you will be able to explain the intricacies of their habits and behaviors. You will be able to predict down to the detail what they will do in any given situation. More importantly, once you start asking yourself what you really want, you'll be able to stop battling the symptoms and start addressing the only issue that has ever really existed in your life, which is living out of alignment with your core needs, and therefore your core purpose. Confronting repressed emotions and taking action. There is a difference between understanding why we self-sabotage and the act of no longer self-sabotaging. This means that once we understand the root and purpose of the behavior, we adjust it, we adapt. Overcoming self-sabotage is not just a matter of understanding why you're holding yourself back. It is being able to take action in the direction that you want and need to, even if it is initially uncomfortable or triggering. This is a very important part of the process because you are essentially going to be confronting the exact emotions you have been trying to avoid. When you stop engaging in self-sabotaging behavior, repressed emotions that you weren't even aware of will start to come up, and you might feel even worse than you did before. The thing about overcoming self-sabotage is that we don't often need to be told what to do. We know what we want to do, and we know what we need to do. It is simply that we are being held back by our fear of feeling. To begin to unravel this emotional holding pattern, we can work through the following to find more ease and space and freedom while we change our lives.
Okay, let me go to the comments. Okay. Delilah says, I don't have a fancy career or education, but I never ever let that stop me from learning and teaching myself things. I am trying to learn to be proud of those accomplishments. I know what you mean. And you know what? I forgot to add this on the things that I'm proud of. I taught myself how to edit. Now, I'm not great, but I'm proud of that. So, most people can't do that. So, for all the content creators in the chat, if you guys are, recording, doing your thumbnails, learning new technology, editing, all that stuff, that's something to be proud of because people go to school for that. So I just wanted to put that little tidbit out there. But Delilah, I feel the same exact way. I need to, be proud of my accomplishments because most people don't, do the certain things that, I do or can. Let's see here. In case you don't know, Shy, Busy Bees is Felicia Amigo. Oh, YouTube community. Oh, okay. I was wondering. Okay. I thought it was like her children or something. So, okay. My family cousin on YouTube are the best, and I love them. They make this journey safe and helps me smile a little bit more. Same. Okay. My core needs is self-love. That hit me like a brick. I feel you. 100%. I feel happy and proud and joy and blessed when I can help even a little others to learn to understand that they are worthy of love, kindness, and peace from everyone, including themselves. Exactly. Cousin. Oh, okay. This book helped me realize I have a lot of control issues, which gives me irrational fears. But now I know, and now I can heal. And I feel like the first thing is, accepting it and realizing, what we're doing. And then we can move forward to, make ourselves better. Good for you. It's hard to learn things as we age, but you got this. Yes, Shy, you do a great job. Thank you so much. I try. Okay, so we got about 7 more minutes left, and I'm gonna leave you guys with some questions, and then also we'll talk about some other stuff. But I want to leave it at like maybe an hour to an hour and 10 minutes because I got them kids. They're gonna be coming in here very shortly. So let's finish this out, okay?
The most common emotions that arise while you're breaking self-sabotaging behaviors. The first feeling you are likely to confront is resistance. This is that generalized sense of being stuck, or your body feeling so tense that it is almost hard, as though you are hitting a wall. This feeling is usually masking emotion that is preventing you from actually being aware of the sensations beneath it, which are more acute. When you start to feel resistance, you don't want to just push through it. In fact, trying to do that means you'll keep hitting the same wall that you're up against already. You're going to strengthen the self-sabotaging behavior because you aren't really resolving the problem by just trying to override it. Instead, start asking the right questions. Why do I feel this way? What is this feeling trying to tell me about the action I am trying to take? Is there something I need to learn here? What do I need to do to honor my needs right now? Then you have to reconnect to your inspiration or your vision for life. Get clear on why you want to take this action and make a change. When your motivation is the fact that you want to live a different and better existence, you're going to find that a lot of the resistance fades because you're being pushed by a vision that's greater than your fear. In other cases, you might run into other emotions such as anger, sadness, or inadequacy. When those feelings come up, it is very important to make space for them. This means to allow them to rise up in your body and observe them. Watch where they make you tense up or constrict. Feel what they want you to feel. There is nothing worse than the fear of feeling as the experience itself is ultimately often just some physical tension around which we've crafted a story. Remember that a lot of these feelings may very well have a root in something related to the self-sabotaging behavior. If you are angry about how one of your parents treated you, it probably won't come as a surprise that the core feeling of why you are sabotaging your relationships is anger and mistrust. The feelings associated with self-sabotage are not usually random. In fact, they can lead us to deeper insights about what we really need and what problems within us are still unresolved. To fully release those feelings, once you are aware of them, try writing yourself a letter. Write something to your younger self, or from the perspective of your future self. Write down a mantra or a manifesto. Remind yourself that you love yourself too much to settle for less, or that it is okay to be angry in unfair or frustrating circumstances. Give yourself space to experience the depth of your emotions so that they do not control your behaviors. Disconnecting action and feeling. The final and most important lesson to overcome self-sabotage is to learn to disconnect action from feeling. We are not held back in life because we are incapable of making change. We are held back because we don't feel like making change, and so we don't. The truth is that you can have a vision of what you want, know that it is undoubtedly right for you, and simply not feel like taking the action required to pursue that path. This is because our feelings are essentially wired as comfort systems. They produce a good feeling when we are doing what we have always done, staying in familiarity. This, to our bodies, registers as safety. In other cases, the accomplishments or changes that we are very happy about are those that we also perceive to offer us a greater measure of safety. If the achievement potentially puts us at risk in any way, or exposes us to something unfamiliar, we aren't going to be happy about it initially, even if it is a net positive for our lives. However, we can actually train ourselves to prefer behaviors that are good for us. This is how we restructure our comfort zones. We begin to crave what we repeatedly do, but the first few times we do it, we often feel uncomfortable. The trick is being able to override that initial hesitation, so we are guiding our lives with logic and reason, not emotionality. Though your emotions are always valid and need to be validated, they are hardly ever an accurate measure of what you are capable of in life. They are not always an accurate reflection of reality. All your feelings know is what you've done in the past, and they are attached to what they've drawn comfort from. You may feel as though you are worthless, but you most certainly are not. You may feel as though there is no hope, but there most certainly is. You may feel as though everyone dislikes you, but that is probably a gross over-exaggeration. You may think everyone is judging you, but that is a misperception. Most importantly, you may feel as though you cannot take action, when you most certainly can. You simply do not feel willing because you are not used to it. By using logic and vision to guide ourselves, we are able to identify a different and better life experience. When we imagine this, we feel peaceful and inspired. To rise up to meet this version of our lives, we must overcome our resistance and discomfort. We will not feel happy initially, no matter how right for us those actions are. It is essential that you learn to take action before you feel like doing it. Taking action builds momentum and creates motivation. These feelings will not come to you spontaneously. You have to generate them. You have to inspire yourself. You have to move. You have to simply begin and allow your life and your energy to reorient itself to prefer the behaviors that are going to move your life forward, not the ones that are keeping you held back. Chapter 3.
Okay, so that was the chapter 2's chapter. That was the rest of it. So you guys tell me what you think in the chat. I'm going to go over it, the comments in a second, but I just jotted down a few things that I have been experiencing. So I'll let you guys in on my business, okay? So this week I told y'all that I had like a meltdown. I wasn't really mentally like stable this week. And a lot of it was professionally. And I found myself, trying to sabotage the things that I, went so far as to procure. So as far as business, like I was like this close to closing, like this is insurance. You guys know I'm in insurance if you don't know, but I was really close to closing the deal, which I did, which I'm proud of myself. But in the whole process, I'm just thinking like, oh, they're not going to accept what I'm offering. They're not going to like this. They're not going to do this. I felt like a failure. And I went into the meeting and I just felt like judged. I felt like she could see through my soul. Like she could see that I'm uncomfortable. She could see that I'm not good enough. And I don't know why I was feeling that way, because by the end of it, she was like, oh my God, you did great. Yes, let's do this. Let's do that. And I just got in my car and I just thought about it like, why was I thinking that about myself the whole time? Like, it wasn't even that serious. And I just have an example of what I felt like. It just felt like my old self was grabbing me by the collar. And it's like, okay, you getting too big for your britches. You can't go to the next level. What are you doing? And I don't know like why I felt this way, but it just felt like I was pulling myself back. And I really want to get over that. Like, so what I did was I just kept moving forward and I got the outcome that I actually was shooting for. But I still ask myself, like, why do I feel this way about myself? Like, what did I do, or what was instilled into me to do that to myself, which is odd. So, and I answered my own question here, and putting you guys in my business again, if you don't mind. But I didn't grow up with a silver spoon. How I grew up, you would, deem as poverty, and getting out of that poverty mindset is extremely hard. I don't know if you guys have dealt with that before, but, coming from survival mode, or coming from, a mindset of lack, I feel like that's what's stopping me from, moving forward. And I'm really trying to get out of that. I really am. But it's definitely difficult. It just feels like somebody has you by your hair or has you by your collar and is literally physically holding you. But it's really just your mind. That's what I'm finding. Okay, Felicia says she agrees with. Oh, Sandra, you deserve. Okay, I did that one. Feeling my emotions is so hard for me. I learned to shut them off decades ago, and now I don't know how to tell the difference of one or the other. It It overwhelms me. I feel sorry, my internet is acting up. It does this when I'm at the hour mark. Sorry, guys. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm back. Okay. You have to move. You have to begin. Yes. I'm proud of you that we were able to look inward and start to see what's holding you back. Yes. We don't mind at all, Shy. I admire you letting us all live. Oh, thank you. It's hard. It's hard letting people in too. Overcoming a poverty mindset is very, very hard to do. But we have to, yes. Man, that is, I'm telling you, having a poverty mindset can literally destroy you. I'm telling you. I left a lot of opportunities pass me by because of my mindset. So I'll just end here, and you guys, if you want to answer this in the chat, you can. If you want to keep it to yourself, you can do that as well. So I just jotted down the things I want to change about myself. So the first thing is I want to stop giving up on myself, and I want to stop not believing in myself like I can do anything that I put my mind to. So I'm going to change that to I can do whatever I put my mind to, and let all of the negative noise just, be in the background, and I try to tune that part out. So that's what I'm going to do to change about myself. Leaving things and people that are not good for my mind, body, and spirit without having bitterness in my heart or hate. So those are the two things that I want to change about myself. I don't want to be bitter towards people that done me wrong. And I don't want to hate those people too. So I just want to move forward with a positive mindset, and I don't have to hate them, but I don't have to continue to have them in my life either. So that's the other thing. Yep. And listen here. That part, walk away and not be guilty or mad about it. Exactly. And the last thing that I want to change about myself is being comfortable with having, an abundance of things. So whatever that may be. So in a positive way. So if that's money, if that's anything, I want to be able to accept it in a, feel good about it. There's nothing wrong with having things. And that's what I have to tell myself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having an abundance. And I'm not going to feel guilty about that anymore. So you guys tell me what you think. I'll run through the comments, and I will end the show after you guys, put your thoughts in the comments. Also, who wants to do chapter 3? And I was looking at chapter 3. Chapter 3 looks like it's going to be something that I really need to, put some thoughts into. Because chapter 3 is what your triggers, and what are they? Let me see. Your triggers are the guides to your freedom. So who wants to do chapter 3? Let me know. I can hear you. Okay, I did that one. I'm going to trust myself more. I got myself this far, and I love my life. That is so good to hear. Because we got so many things to be happy about and, be positive about. Yes, amiga. Yes, amiga. Let's see here. I will be off next week, but if no one else picks it up, I got it the following week. Okay, I don't want to be in control of everything, but if you guys want me to do it, I will. I don't mind. Or if you guys want to take a week off, and then we can just start back on the, let's see, Sunday is the, one second. So next Sunday is the 7th. We can do, if you guys want to go back on the 14th, start back on the 14th, we can start on chapter 3. Or do you guys want to just continue on doing it weekly? It's totally up to you guys. Totally up to you. So yeah, y'all let me know that. So, and let me know if you guys liked the live. Tell me how I did. This one is really emotional. So if I'm kind of like a little out of it, I'm in my feelings right now. So I'm trying to like still work through the live, but after it's over, I probably go to the bathroom and kind of like, blot my eyes and, return to being a gangster afterwards. Okay. Do a shy if you're able to, of course. You make me feel safe. Okay. Okay, so look. If you're okay with this, Delilah, I can do chapter 3. I don't mind doing it. I got Audible and I have the book. So I'll probably read the chapter because it's not that long. We probably can finish it in one live. Let me see. Let's see how long chapter 3 is. Okay, so chapter 3 is 46 minutes. We can do that. We can run through it next week on the 7th. I don't mind doing it. So let me ask you this, Delilah. If I do chapter 3 next week, would you be able to attend? Because I would love for you to be here. I want you to be here. So if not, I don't know. I want you here, girl. Or can you listen in? I don't want to put more on you. I'll wait for you guys to respond. Uh-oh. Yep. If you're still in here, Delilah, Yeah, if you're still in here, Delilah, let me know if you'll be able to attend if I do chapter 3 next week. Let's see, is she in here? Okay, I'm fine with it. I'll just make a post and do chapter 4 if you want, and I'll pick back up on chapter 5. Okay, so that'll be perfect. So I'll do chapter 3, and then you can do chapter 4 and 5. And then if anybody else want to take over, and because how many chapters is in this book? Let's see. Okay. How many chapters we got? I think is it 7 or 8 chapters in this book? I think it's 7 chapters, 7 or 8. So yeah, I'll do chapter 3 next Sunday. If anything changes, I'll let you guys know beforehand. But as it stands, I'll do chapter 3, and then we can go from there. So let me go through the comments. Hold on. Felicia says you're doing amazing on your lives. Don't worry about being vulnerable, shy. We are all vulnerable with you. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. So again, thank you guys for joining me on today's live. I appreciate every single last one of you girls and guys. I'm so happy that listening to me. I'm so happy that I'm able to help you and help myself at the same time, because I'm telling you guys, I be going through it, and it doesn't have anything to do with anybody. It's just I'm in my own mind a lot of times. So whatever. But I'll see you guys next Sunday. And I don't know if I'm going to do a Friday night live show. Sometimes I just think that it might be a lot. I don't want to oversaturate like everything. Sometimes I don't have nothing to talk about. So I might do a Friday night live show where we can just chit chat. I don't know. And then I'll come back Sunday on the 7th, and I'll do chapter 3 again. So, all right. So I'm going to end this, you guys, and make sure y'all take some notes. So what's some changes that you want about yourself? And let me see. I'll leave y'all with these questions. What are some things that you're proud of? What are some things that make you happy? And what are some things that make you feel safe? So I think this is good for, our mental health too, because we always lean towards the negative. If we start changing our mindset to the positive, it will help us with self-sabotage and self-worth. So bye, guys. I love you guys, and take care of your mental health. I know I need to. So bye-bye.